I had a conversation with my mom, and I was telling her, like, and when you were growing up, it was, oh, I have to listen to what mama and daddy say. Now we're in the space of where children and people are able to express themselves to their parents without it being a disrespectful thing. Because I think old school is what we call it. Mm-hmm. Their parents felt like, you go by what I say, and that's what it is. And now this new school, motherhood, adulthood is, oh, I can let my parents know how I feel with a certain tone and a certain voice without them feeling like I'm being disrespectful.
And and it's a balance, because they'll be like, I say, when my kids act gentle, I gentle parent. Right. When they want to act like then
rats,
then we go to Carver Park.
I'm trying to, navigate life differently, not only for myself, but
for your nieces.
Yeah. And all the other little YNs that we teach. And the kids, the children.
Please, guys, education
not get close to the phone.
Is the foundation. Okay? Remember that. Education is the foundation. I'm not saying everybody got to go far in education, but it's the foundation. So work on that at home with your babies, please.
Okay, cool. What's the song I said? Oh, and we back. And we back. And we back. And we back.
Kinda you.
We are back with another episode of the
You're Done podcast.
It's your girl, Big Desto, not the little one.
And be more, nevertheless.
And
Little Money.
We got a guest in the house.
My girl, Amani.
Thank y'all for having me.
Amani was like, I want to be on the podcast. Amani came with a topic and everything. You had a whole...
Listen, she was ready, and that's what we like.
Yeah, if you want to come on the podcast, please have some sense of direction. What are we talking about?
Yeah. Come on here, just...
Right.
Oh, we got to have topics. We got to know what we're going to get into.
Exactly.
Yes.
Unpack it.
Unpack it.
Y'all saw it.
So with that being said, I don't know if you... Okay, maybe... Because we don't... Sometimes we just jump right into the topic. But sometimes I do try to... If people don't know who you are, just so they get like a little bit more insight. Because I be getting on here like, I know who you are, and I just start talking. So people that's watching probably like, who is that? So you can tell the people...
Okay. My name is Armani. I'm from this area. We all grew up together. Mm-hmm. I'm really Galveston, Texas. And I'm just Armani, a cool person. Funny, outgoing. Everybody know that.
Yes.
And that's me.
That's all you need to know. But yeah, so today, me and Armani are both educators, right? Mm-hmm. So we work with the kids. The
God
children.
Bless y'all. That's all I got to say.
The future. Looking a little shaky.
Shaky.
But with that being said, because Brittany obviously is not an educator, but she has kids.
Yes.
Right? So I tried to intertwine both of the careers and stuff. Or that's not a career, but you don't get paid.
Listen, I should.
You
but
get paid, just not monetarily.
Yes. How to love.
How we can make everybody be able to engage in a conversation. So we came up with the topic of we are the new adults.
Yes.
Because I remember when I was like 20 something, my mama had me when she was like 25. When I was 25, I didn't feel a kid. I barely feel like an adult. I know at 25 you're considered an adult, but I'm like, baby, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm winging it. Just now, I'm about to be 30. I'm really starting to feel like, okay, adult. Yeah, I can do that. It's still ghetto.
It is very.
Being an adult is like, okay, well, how
and you only in one hood though. Wait till you get into multiple hoods. And what I mean by that is you in adulthood, but when you get in motherhood, you be like, bro. So I'm in like two ghettos at the same time. Like, why would I?
No, for real.
Why?
It's real ghetto. And with me and Armani are around the same age, right? But Brittany, she's 6 years older than us.
Yes.
So she's in a different stage of adulthood.
It's levels to it.
Well, it is. Because once I hit 30, well, I'm 35 now, and I'll be 36 this year. I do feel like I'm like settling in. I feel like when I was in my 20s, it was just like, well, what can I do? When I got in my 30s, I was just like, okay, I think this is what I'm gonna do. Right. Now that I'm getting closer to 40, I'd be like, I wish you would tell me what I'm about to do.
Right.
Because
I got this.
Because what we about to do is what I just said. That's kind of how I'm feeling. So I think the older you get, the more secure you feel in like what you're gonna do. And I think once I had kids, that solidified it more because now I'm like, I wish you would play with my kids.
All right.
Brielle and Breland? I mean, you can mess with, but Brielle and Breland? Yeah. More? Yeah, them the wrong ones. Don't come for me. And my husband is the same way. He be quick to, baby, we can't be driving up to the school every time. Right. She say, little, such and such. Like Blake did, such and such. We try to let her handle those things, but we will pull up.
No, for real. So what you feel with your adult space?
My adult space, I feel like it's like up and down. It's a roller coaster. One minute I feel like, oh, I know what I'm doing. Yeah. Next minute I feel like, oh, mama, I need you. Next minute I feel like, I don't know what I'm doing. Right? So it's just like, again, it's a roller coaster. So like you said, with the adulthood and the motherhood, yes. It's hard. It's hard because social media plays a big part in these different hoods. I feel like you see everybody doing this and you feel like, dang, I should be doing that. But then you're like, but I am in the right space. Then, dang, I should be doing more of that. Yes. But you just really have to know and I guess just go with the flow almost to really figure it out and know exactly what it is. And what it ain't you gonna do, I guess. Yeah,
because like gentle parenting was like the biggest thing that like popped off. Especially like when I started having kids, it was just like, you don't want your kids to grow up with this trauma. You don't want to, like, because when your mama said, you can't do it, and you said why, it was because I said so. Right. And so now I'm trying to get into a space of being like, well, I can explain something, but sometimes I'm like, no, it's because exactly because I said so.
It's crazy you said that because I had a conversation with my mom and I was telling her like, and when you were growing up, it was, oh, I have to listen to what mama and daddy say. Now we're in the space of where children and people are able to express themselves to their parents without it being a disrespectful thing. Yeah. Because I think old school is what we call it. Their parents felt like, you go by what I say and that's what it is. And now this new school motherhood, adulthood is, oh, I can let my parents know how I feel with a certain tone and a certain voice without them feeling like I'm being disrespectful. Yeah. So it's a lot when it comes to this new hood and the old hood.
Yeah. And it's hard for them to grasp on something. And it is hard.
You let them explain, but then you're like,
and it's a balance because they'll be like, I say when my kids act gentle, I gentle parent. Right. When they want to act like then
rats,
then we go to Carver Park. Listen, it's wherever you at is where I'm gonna meet you at. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to act like you got some sense, I act like I got some sense. Right. When you act like you want to step out of pocket, then I got to remind you, do you pay a bill?
Or remind you where you get that from.
Right, that part.
Because we can go there.
And I'm going to win every time. That part. So it is hard. And it's the same thing when you're just talking about just being a woman in today's society and being an adult in today's society, because I feel like you got to be the 5 a.m. girly. You got to drink the green juice. You got to read your Bible you should be doing that though. Okay. Read your Bible, but in the morning. You can't, don't do it at night because God woke you up this morning. And it's like, wait a minute. My mornings is real busy. And I tend to have the most time at night with the Lord. I can hear him, but it's like, it's this regiment that everybody say you're supposed to be on. And I feel like it sucks because like you said, when you feel like, ooh, I kind of got a footing in what it is that I want to do. And then social media says, but you ain't do this one thing. Well, baby, right? Exactly. When I wake up at 4:30, I'm angry. Yeah. Okay, you need to stay asleep. You need to be a 6:30 girl.
Exactly. That's not for you.
Yeah, because don't come on here mad at me.
Right. But I also feel like, because I've, like, with the whole transition into my 30s thing, I've heard people say, like, when you turn 30, like, it's like a whole new world.
Yeah.
Not in a good way.
Okay, good.
Okay, she's like, wait a minute. What book was you reading?
But I heard that the girlies were saying, like, when you turn 30, like, things start to, like, kind of life just started making a little bit more sense. Because when you were 20, I just came out of being a teenager. I maybe just graduated from college where I was living my best life. Granted, I graduated at like 21 years old, so I'm an adult. But baby, I was living my best life. I didn't really have no real responsibilities. Financial aid was paying my rent. I don't know. You know, so life was lifing, but in a totally different space than it is now. And I just feel like as I continuously grow, even outside of like, I'm not a mother or anything, but like, I guess adulthood, it's just like I'm going from one stage to the next, and I'm like, okay, certain things do get a little easier, but sometimes they don't. And also with I have a sister who's like 6 years older than me. She has kids. So the things that I'm trying to do and the way I'm trying to go about my life is not solely about myself no more, as opposed to when I was 20-something. Oh, baby, I ain't got no kids. I ain't got to go as hard. You know, like, I'm living life. But now I'm in a different space. Like, I have little girls looking up to me. Like, if I come up here acting all kind of ways, they go pick up on those things. So I'm trying to, navigate life differently, not only for myself, but
for your nieces.
Yeah. And all the other little YNs that we teach. And the kids, the children.
Please, guys, education
not get close to the phone.
is the foundation. Okay? Remember that. Education is the foundation. I'm not saying everybody got to go far in education, but it's the foundation. So work on that at home with your babies. Please.
Thank you.
Like Destiny just said, the little YNs we teach.
Baby.
They in a whole nother hood.
I just had one of my students flip tables over. Just emotionally corrupted because...
And you teach the younger kids.
I teach kindergarten.
He flipping tables in kindergarten?
Yes,
okay.
All of this on my hands happened from him.
Oh, my... Oh.
Are you all right?
I'm okay. The power of the prayer, it works.
Okay? Yes. Oh, my God. Okay, so I do have a question then. Because I feel... Because I'm not in education, but that was why. Because I feel like... I got Doris's gene real strong in me, and I knew that at a young age, and I already know when I see other people kids, I'm saying something or I'm not. Mm-hmm. So I'm not out here trying to tell people how to raise their kids, or if I'm like, oh, I see little dude over there, let me say something to him. But it's just some things, and I'm just like, if I know I'm going to put my hands on you, I'm going to have to walk away. Breland, let's go. Yeah. Because I don't have time for this. Mm-hmm. But I feel like, and I actually had this conversation with someone else, is that I feel though that some moms have gotten on social media, right? And then the kid is on social media because not every kid got an iPad. And so now y'all are in this together. And then they get to the school and you trying to teach them other than just the iPad, and now you're fighting the parent because now the parent is not just like I feel like when we 6 years apart. When I was in school, most of the time you'd be like, oh, that parent ghetto, that mama just out here so her son can do no wrong. But now it's just like, no, you just don't want to change because really you annoyed with your kids, so you're giving them an iPad, and now you're just trying to shut everything down because you have so much going on. But when I'm in class and it's not just little Jimmy, it's little Jimmy, little Susie, and Karen all up in here, I can't just tend to him and get everybody else. So like, how do y'all? I don't even know what the real question is.
We pray.
Because
but do you talk to the parents? Like, how are those conversations?
Like, even with the parents, like cursing you out, going off on you on the little platforms that we use to communicate with parents.
Not cussing on the platform.
Yes, in their binders when you're responding to the parents and the parents are sending you nasty messages back. I just take it, I guess, because where we from and you know how we grew up, we just let it roll off your shoulder. But she was just a sensitive person. I just let it roll off my shoulder, and I do pray and ask God to give me strength to endure those things and to just be able to, it's okay, it's just words, or it's just their feelings, and pray for them that they can have a forgiving spirit, or like a whatever boundary they are, blockage they have up on their heart, to let it go. Because us educators, we're not here to hurt y'all or your kids. We're here to help them. Because clearly y'all not doing something at the house that's helping them. And they're seeing the emotions that you have and they're projecting it on me. And now they're doing the same thing and projecting it on me as well. Because they're hearing and seeing everything. What I did learn about the younger crowd, because I did teach 8th grade, I taught 7th grade, and now I'm back to kindergarten.
Okay.
So when I taught 8th grade, they're more or less like, oh, I can go learn this somewhere else. I can go do this. I don't need that. They're knowing and learning that, oh, we don't have to go to college in order to be great.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's different.
So with the kids, the babies, babies are curious. What's that? Why you do that? How you do this? How you do that? So they're wanting to learn. They're wanting to better themselves. But when they see their parents doing things such as, oh, your teacher this or your teacher that, and blah 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 blah, they're going to project those things as well because they're only doing what they're told at the house. So with my particular student, that student, he sees that his mother is getting upset because I'm holding her accountable. That's another thing parents aren't doing. People aren't doing in their lives. Holding themselves accountable. And like you said, in that adulthood, that motherhood, they don't hold themselves accountable all the time, which is why we do have these problems with the kids because they're seeing what their parents are doing. If you're not going to follow the rules, what makes you think your baby going to follow the rules?
Right.
Yeah.
So a thing that I just do, I try to hold them accountable all the time, teaching that at a young age. I don't care if you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to learn how to hold yourself accountable. When you're wrong, you say that you're wrong and you apologize and you do the things you need to do. We're not always sorry. We're apologetic. So that's things that I've been teaching them over the past I've only been with this group because I just got back into the school system maybe 2 months. So I've been teaching them that. So now I've seen a difference from February to now. They're like, oh, Miss Boxley said that we have to say sorry for those type of things. Let me apologize. I apologize. And I'm like, okay, that they're learning. Yeah. If I can practice this with them every day for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, they'll pick it up and keep working on it at the house. And I always tell them, when you go home, you practice those kindness. You practice those things that are of good. You don't have to always be so nasty and mean. I was like, a lot of people don't like nasty people and mean people because the people that you're being nasty and mean to, you're going to need them later on. Yeah. So all in all to say is just practice with the kids and it'll get better over time. Yeah. And with the parents, when the parents see that their kid is changing, shoot, the parent might start changing. Because I know you as a mom, you probably learn from your babies. Yeah. I know my sister, she's 7 years older than me. No, India's 5 years older than me.
Man, she been putting years on you. She said you an adult.
I love you, India. I'm thinking about my boyfriend and his brother, but my sister India is 5 years older than me. So, and I see the things that she's doing with her kids. I'm like, oh, I see my sister learning because I see her evolving and changing in ways that if she had them babies, she probably wouldn't have been doing that. Yeah, and I know that because I know my girl. But at the end of the day, like, it's just practice with the babies, and the babies will go home and teach their parents. Because I know you listen to your babies and stuff. So it's just all about practice and prayer. The PPs.
Yeah, no, for real.
Practice and prayer.
Because it is tough. Because even when you do have kids, like you assume, okay, Brielle and Breland have the same parents, grew up in the same house, and they're 5 years apart. And so, of course, you're like, oh, well, these things, right? These things did work great with Brielle. Let me do it with Breland. Baby, Breland, she been here before. That's what I'm going to say about that one. And so I had to realize, like, this is not going to work on her. And so it's hard because sometimes you feel like you are becoming, especially if I'm having to discipline them together, I feel like I'm switching gears as I talk to them. And I'm like, wait a minute, am I bipolar? Because this is becoming too much. Now, don't get me wrong, there are moments that I do sit and then I have conversations with them and I'm just able to say what it is that I need to say. But sometimes I'm also just like, who am I talking to? So this is how I have to direct that conversation. But what I like, what you were saying, is that kindness is kindness, right? And so when you're having those conversations, that's really great that it's in school, but it does also need to happen at the house, because if not, half the time when some teachers, not y'all, clearly, because y'all out here praying over the babies, right? Right? I feel like they're just saying, well, if they're going to do this at home, I don't have time for it. And I wish more people would take the time for our kids, because unfortunately we do live in a world where people are having kids much younger, and then they don't even know how to navigate that. And I think it's just becoming real tough that we don't have compassion to slow down for everyone depending on what stage of adulthood that they're in.
Right.
You know, and I think that's sometimes tough because the way she experienced her 20s was not the way that I took my 20s. My 20s, I wish I would have done more of her way because I'm like, dang, that seemed like fun. I wish I would have went here with my friends and done, you know, X, Y, and Z. But I more so was like already thinking about my 30s. So I was already like, I have to do that internship. I have to go over here. No, I can't go to this party because I need to set myself up. But I also grew up where I listened to my mom saying all the things she had to work on, and I was like, I never want to have to call my mom to tell her to bail me out of, not bail me out of jail, but like, you know, bail me out of, I would have been sitting there, but like bail me out. And so I always felt like I had to hold my own. And so I feel like now that I have my own kids, I've worked so hard to not, and not saying that it's a bad thing, because I have told my kids, to tell my kids, like, you know, the reason you could take a shower is because really, your daddy paid that bill, but we paid that bill. But I try to not do too much because I feel like, because I realized a little bit of things that was going on, I worked 10 times harder, so I didn't really enjoy as much of like my 20s as I should have. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I look at my kids now and I'm like, yo, little privileged.
I know she made a point, like, she was like, these little kids never lived in an apartment before.
I know, and it seems so small,
little things like that. It's like, they just think, this is how people live.
Yeah, and to me, I'm like, that's great, right? Because, like, this is my kid's foundation, so when you go get a man, you know, now you know what to look for, you know, things like that. But at the same time, I'm just like, I'm gonna take your ass to Sundance.
Right. You see the struggle.
You don't know what Sundance is.
Baby.
Look, yeah. Because what are you talking about? And yeah, I'm gonna sit you on that little thing where your AC blow out.
The green thing.
Yeah. Sit out there and wait for your friends to come outside. Not your little friend who got the blow up pool.
Right.
You know, and y'all running down there with your iPads with the covers on them. Right. And so it's tough, and I don't know if, like, I feel like I'm in like between eras as an adult, because I feel like I understand why my mom and my dad did what they did, but then I'm also like in this new era of like figuring out like how to, I don't want to say like cultivate my kid into anything, but to hear them out so that I can be who they need me to be, not who I'm just going to choose to be because I want you to act this way.
But I was going to say, when it comes from like us, okay, we lived in apartments. Okay, you ain't always got to get it out the mud for it to be like something, you know?
Yeah.
So, but also having a parent, because I know I teach students, or have taught students, where their parent, they're doing the best that they can. So whatever stage you are in your adulthood may not be the same as somebody else's. So I had a kid tell me his parents basically said, I don't have to give the same respect to you as I do to my dad because you're not my parent. But whereas we were taught, baby, that's an adult. You're gonna, respect them.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the dad came to school and clarified it. Yeah, I told him that. You're not his dad. He don't have to respect you on that same level as me. And obviously, but no. At the same time, like,
right.
I am here with your kid all day, every day. You mean to tell me you gonna go home and let him know? Yeah, you ain't gotta respect her like that,
right?
We're not doing that. So it's hard to try to, especially being in the education space. You don't have to have kids to know right from wrong or how kids should be brought up. And I guess if you work with kids, but it's hard because it's like, Destiny want to tell that parent that's stupid.
Right, because then when he
is hindering your child.
Yeah, because when he get out here and the cop pull him over, you gonna tell him, well, you have to respect him because he ain't your daddy?
You're rude to those people, and those people are probably gonna be the people you probably need later on down the road. So it's like you're teaching him wrong things, but to him, he grew up like I was that kid that a teacher didn't give a chance to. I was that kid in school that didn't get all the opportunities as other kids. So for him, it's like, my kid being happy to say that he even want to come to school, that's good enough for me.
Right.
But it's hard when you're trying to be a light in other kids' life or be the adult. Because, baby, when you're dealing with other adults and not adulting as you are adulting, it's hard.
Yes.
It's real hard. So,
and like you were saying, like, we need more parents. Like, just how you said, we need more teachers like us. We need more parents like you who actually take their time to sit with your child, because it's so sad. Like, my first day, I was kind of emotional because I always ask the kids, okay, how many of y'all's parents ask you, how was your day, or what did you learn today? I had 5 kids out of the 13 tell me that their parents asked them. And out of those 5, 3 of them are my tier 3. So tier 3 are my high level students. Then it's tier 2, your mid, and your tier 1 or your low.
Yeah.
So my 3 tier, of course, their parents are going to ask them. So I'm just like, dang, like, this is sad because the new adults now are, like, a lot of them don't take the time to do things like you're doing with your babies or anybody else we may know who actually sit there and talk with their kids. Or you have the teachers like, I call them check teachers. You're only there for that check.
Yeah.
Like, you're only there to get it in and get out. And that's why when you made that comment about, like, I wish I had more teachers like y'all who actually care, because you do have those teachers and educators or other people who work in the education system who are just there for a check. They're going to get it in and get it out.
Get back to summer break.
I ain't gonna, it's some days I'm like, ooh, come on, 12 o'clock, because after 12 time, I'm gonna get the roller. But still in that time and like in that space, I'm being very intentional with the kids. We don't have parents that are intentional. We don't have a lot of teachers that are intentional with their students. And even if you're not being intentional with teaching them a lesson, life lessons matter too in the classroom. So with these new adults, like, you have a lot of parents that don't want to be like friends with their kids, so, and they're afraid to upset them, so they're not trying to be intentional because they're afraid of, if they are intentional, they're going to rub their child the wrong way, and then they become that very disrespectful child, or just doing things that are like how that parent was in their past. So it's just a lot with the new adults, with the new educators, with the just new parents, new kids, like, they're doing a lot.
They're
so
different.
They're super different, and it's scary because with the way with our president and things are going, like, and with the Department of Education possibly being taken away, it's not going to look good, and it's not going to be a good thing, which is why I always say to my students, I'm going to keep my body healthy, because if you're going to be the doctor and the lawyer and this, I'm going to be highly afraid to come see you. We're doomed.
Lord, I didn't think about them.
Yeah, you got to think about that. Like, when I was working with 8th grade last year, I have students who don't know the difference between there, and there, or 2, and 2.
8th grade?
8th grade.
Yeah. When I taught 8th grade, I was like,
can't write a thesis statement, can't write a closing statement. I was so scared because I'm like, you gonna be mixing the wrong medicines, baby, and I'm gonna be sick.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yes. So it's different. Like, it's totally different. I wish, like, if one day y'all could, if you're off or you're free, y'all just come sit in my class and observe. Because my principal, she'll let you come up there and just come observe. And then maybe we can piggyback one day on this topic and just give like a follow-up on everything that had happened, so you can see what's going on in the space, like in the classrooms. You'll be like,
it's crazy.
It makes you want to go home and hug your babies. When I see my niece and my nephew, I want to just hug them and hug my sister. Because good thing my sister's an educator. She teaches 6th grade English. So I'm like, India, what you doing at that house with them kids? She like, girl, I got to make sure they reading, they writing, I'm practicing with them, and not just letting them be iPad babies or iPhone babies, because the way that things are looking right now, we're doomed. Like the grading system. You know how we took our SAT?
I don't even understand.
They just passing them on.
Did they say if you make a 40, you made a C?
A 60. You get, you know how in the SAT when you write your name, you get 100 points? Yeah. That's just like with the kids. They write their name, they get the 60. 65 if they answer one question.
They get 2 chances to fail a grade level. After that, it's like, okay, just pass them on. But baby, they're 2 years behind. You're just gonna, they don't. It's no accountability, like you said earlier, for anything. And I'm the type of teacher, as kind of, I might be practicing and praying, but I'm also keeping it real. You need to know this stuff, and you don't. Like, there's no way that you're going to go to sis. I have some of my kids now that have found me on social media that I taught, and they like, oh, Miss McCoy, you wasn't lying. When you did 6th grade, it's hard. I say, yeah, but you was keying and laughing in my class. I told you. It gets harder.
That's insane.
Yeah,
and the work is hard. Like,
oh, girl, the stuff that we learn, I even have to reteach myself so I can teach my students. The way that they teach it now is totally different, and they still not getting it.
Which is crazy because they ain't even write cursive.
They're not doing that no more.
The school system was insane.
They can't even sign paperwork, child. These kids
can't even fill out job applications. Yeah, I'm over here helping kids do little things. I'm like, you gotta sign that. What's sign? I write my name. No, print is not sign. Okay.
Girl, They don't
Interesting.
know. Even with me teaching them like real world life examples, I give them like a project of like planning a vacation and learning how to budget this and this and that. I'd be like, okay, what you gonna do with this money? Oh, I'd be like, you need money, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
They don't know the difference between withdrawal. They don't know the difference between deposit. They don't
really know
baby, you're gonna be broke.
25 cents.
No, one little girl asked me the other day, how much is a quarter again, Miss McCoy?
A quarter.
I'm telling you, just one day, a little plan a day, and you just come. And my mom's the director of special ed in Galveston.
Yeah.
So she implemented a little thing. Maybe you could do this with your class because you have older people. Like everybody has a job. So she prints out Monopoly money and everybody get paid on Friday. You get your paycheck. Right. And then you can go to the treasure box and you can buy whatever it is with your money to help them practice learning how to spend money and save. And
financial literacy.
Yeah, because they need it. So my mom was... This lady crazy. If y'all don't know Tonya Boxley, don't find her. That's a funny lady. She was saying that she taught the students, okay, the pencils are $1. You can buy you a pencil for $1 because she doesn't like when the kids ask other students for pencil and they break them and riffraff. So little girl gave my mama $2. My mom said, okay, if the pencil's $1, how many more dollars will you get back? She was like, none.
Okay, thank you.
Mama said, and baby, that's why you're gonna get robbed.
Exactly. Every time.
That's insane.
You don't want your change back?
Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you feel like it's more so that the kids just don't want to do it because they feel like I can go viral on social media, hopefully? Or do you think it's because the parents don't want to sit and take, because I feel like, baby, y'all already know Doris was a different breed. I could make 100 on an assignment, and if she said my handwriting was off in my Tuesday folder versus cussing the teacher out, it was send the assignment back, a blank sheet. Baby, it's already signed. I'm at home rewriting it in perfect handwriting.
I did a whole science project once on the little board. She didn't like the way I put the stuff on the board, and I had to redo it.
Baby, it had to be. But back then I used to be like, she crazy. Okay, out here wasting trees. But so do you think is a little bit of both, or do you think is really, if you could be an iPad baby, but if your parents take time with you, that we could see something different inside of the classroom?
Obviously, I feel like, in my opinion, most of it falls back on the parent, because if you're not taking the time to do these things with your kid, how else are they going to know? Yeah. If I'm just throwing an iPad at you, they're not looking at multiplication facts on the iPad. Like, be for real. What do you think they're doing on the iPad?
And retention is horrible because they're not retaining anything. Like, I told them, it's only so much we could teach y'all in these 8 hours. And then within the 8 hours, you have 2 snack times. You have stations. Stations is just for the kids to have fun, even though you can implement, like, learning things in stations. Because in the state of Texas, you have to give them a 30-minute recess. It's like, if they're not practicing it at home and they're only doing it for maybe that little hour in the lesson 5 days a week, when if they can't remember what they ate for dinner, how you think they're gonna remember how to write their name or their numbers or their letters or their phonics or anything like that?
But even with that, they don't even give homework no more. It's not a requirement.
We're giving homework
to send, but I'm saying it's not required. The school.
What you mean we ain't got to give homework?
But I say that because they know it's not coming back. Whereas my mama going through the backpack, where is the homework? We had parents, adults that were adulting and making sure their child was able to adult when they left their house. These parents not even looking for homework. So the school system decided, you know what, we know we ain't going to get it back anyway. So
that they've taken it out, the school system, parents still are just like, oh, okay, we know you're not getting homework, so iPad it up, or take care of your little siblings, or do whatever.
No learning is going on.
So like, that's okay. Now I did realize that Brielle wasn't coming home with homework, and I was like, well, this is weird, right? This is like what? So I don't look in her backpack because I know she's not coming home with homework. But when she has her iPad, it's a game called Osmo, and so you sit the iPad up, and then it's kind of like they're ordering pizza, but then she has to put the money in front of I don't know how they do it, but it's like a little screen, and that screen is reading the money she's putting on the table, and then it's shooting it into the girl.
Come on,
it's some
technology.
witchcraft, but it's amazing. And so it's interesting because she was learning that already. And so we go to all the things to be like, so what is it that she's learning? So like Mama used to buy, what was it? Highlighters? Was it the highlighter book? What was it? Or Highlands? It's something. It's like a learning. Is it? I think it was called highlighter.
I think it's Highlands.
We're gonna look it up and let y'all know. Yeah, it's like in white cursive letters, but whatever. So we used to get books like that to do work in. So whether we got homework or not, but I think for me, I could probably care less that my child has homework as long as she's passing everything and being respectful. But I think the biggest thing that I've taken from our parents is my mom was like, I don't know if I'm a good parent while you're a kid. I'm going to know I was a good parent to you when you become an adult, because now when she's at work and they're like, oh yeah, because my daughter, and I said, I mean, if you want a ton of kids and be on TLC, that's your business. I'm happy for you. But, some of these people just out here having babies from different men, or they can't, manage their money. And then, all these things are going on. And she just be like, oh Lord, I ain't glad I ain't got to deal with my kids. And, so she said for her, that was her, okay, I've done right by Brittany and Destiny, because my kids don't call me with none of this crap. And if they did, it ain't like I got to go dig them out the ditch because they out here blew up $14,000 worth of credit cards, right. So I feel like I try to not just look at my kids, kind of like what you were doing. Both of y'all are doing inside y'all classrooms, teaching them about kindness, teaching them about finances, because these are the things that are going to matter. Whether you social media influence, your own business owner, you need to know how to do all of these things. And if you don't know how to do them our biggest thing was I didn't need calculus. And you out here talking about you don't know what a quad is?
The new math is mathing, for real. When I was that teacher certification, no punk. That math portion, baby, no punk, okay? So I don't know how these kids don't know the difference between a quarter, a nickel, and a dime or a penny. Like, there's that's totally insane to me.
A penny is a totally different color. Like, come on now.
It's insane.
That's hard. I think it's harder when you're talking about when you're dealing with different adults doing different things with their kids, and then y'all just receiving all of them at the same time.
On the teachers, it's just so much.
And you can literally tell just by the child what type of parent that they have.
Yeah, by the way that they dress.
Oh, baby.
You can tell just by the way they dress and come to school. Hair not combed. Still like a hygiene smell or something like that. Oh, wait,
can I speaking of that, having a parent of a student who feel as though since I'm their teacher that I need to pick up the slack where she's failing as a parent. I am your child's teacher. Granted, at the same time, I'm the teacher. I'm the counselor, the nurse, the therapist. I'm all these, the babysitter. I'm everything. But when you start making it seem like I need to pick up your slack because you're not doing what you need to do as a parent.
Yeah.
Because let's be real, I don't have to do all those extra hoods that I picked up. The nurse, to this, to that. I am your child's teacher. At some point, the adulthood system has affected the school system because we know that these babies are not getting certain things at home. So, granted, you don't have teachers who care to pick up all these extra titles, but at the same time, it's like, I can only do so much. Like you said, I got Ken, Bobby Joe, Susie, and everybody else running around. But you're mad at me because your child, well, if she been coming to Saturday school, why she ain't got it? Well, maybe because after Saturday, baby, she hasn't seen it again until she see me again. And I only get that baby about 45 minutes. They go to another class that day. I can only do so much. So as an adult, I've had to learn how to talk to people, child. Because when I was 20-something, I said what I said. I don't care how you received it. You heard what I said, and that's just what it is. Being in this space of an adulthood and an educator, I had to learn how to talk to people. Because that lady messaged, I said, well, you would. When I tell my friends about it, I'm like, yeah, I told her what she needs to do is stop talking to me and go talk to admin. But when I said it to her, I said, well, I'm sorry that I do, it would be best in your best interest to contact admin to get a resolution to this problem. But, you know, I had to pick and choose my battles. And when I'm learning and growing, I'm like, I cannot make this. One, if I'm going back and forth with this parent, that's only making it harder for this child. They're still not going to get the help that they need. Mm-hmm. So being an adult, being an educator, all these things, growing, trying to make sure that what I'm doing is benefiting everybody that's to come after me, whatever the case may be. It's hard, but I'm trying, y'all.
I have a question for you, Destiny, because we're both educators. We both don't have children. Yeah. And we're both still kind of young. We're still getting to that, I guess, new adulthood, because like we said earlier, it's levels. Yeah. For you, how does it feel for you to, like, as an educator, like as a new adult, an educator, and I just not being a parent. For you, how does that feel, like being like your new adult? Because you just said earlier you're going into that level, that new level.
I was gonna say, okay. I mean, let me know if I'm answering the question right. At one point, especially being a teacher, I was like, I do not want my baby going to no public school. But then, also being from where I'm from, I said, my baby don't go to public school. How I'm going to be a basketball mom? We're not
going to have no fun.
I'm going to be at the football game.
Right.
But it's hard because it's like, I want to set my child up for success. And obviously, I know that it starts at home. Mm-hmm. But sending my child to a school where I've seen all the chaos. I done worked with students who their first language is not English. I don't work with kids or lower income students. I don't work with kids, maybe they don't even got it hard, but they want to act like they do. I done seen them all.
Ooh, and they
so it's just like, and they all have a common problem, which is the school system. Mm-hmm. You can't, no matter what school you're going to, that's the problem. And I just, as a parent, I ain't a parent yet. As a future parent and an educator, it is scary to be like, I'm going to put my child out there in that world, but at the same time, it's like, whatever I'm doing at home, like you said, like what you're doing in your classroom, you're hoping that they're doing those same things when they go home. So I can only hope that I'm being the best parent that I can be. So when I do send that child to school, that they don't follow along with the wrong crowd, because it's only so much. I get it. It's only so much you can do as a parent. So that was a good question, because it is only so much you can do as a teacher, and there's only so much you can do as a parent, because that child is going to do what they want to do at the end of the day.
But I think but
I'm trying.
I think I got a twofold question, but I'm gonna start with this one first. Does it put a pause on either one of y'all from saying, I don't want to have kids because this is what's going on?
Can you go first?
Okay, so when I was working with 8th grade, I was like, oh, heck no, I'm not doing that. It definitely put a pause on wanting to have babies, for sure, teaching older children. But now that I've been working with the younger babies, I'm like, God, are you trying to prepare me? Because it's totally different when you work with older kids and younger kids. So I can't say it did put a damper on my spirit about, like, I don't know if I want babies, but now that I'm with little kids who are loving and who are just willing and wanting to learn and want to better themselves, it's put me back in the space of, like, I can do one.
Right. Yeah. And I would say that for me, because I have 4 different classes, right? Ooh. And I've said this before, I have the first class. They all different. Let me just say that.
What grade are you teaching?
5th. Baby, I ain't switched that many times in 5th grade. Did I? No, I did. I switched 3 times.
Because your homeroom was with the English reading, and then it went to.
And then I went to science and math. But that was 3. But now they got 4 classes now, y'all. And so with that, it's like I have those certain students that are like horrible. Sorry, some of your kids say they just horrible. I'm sorry, but I don't mean to talk about it like a child.
Your kid is done.
But they are bad, and it's hard to be, whatever. But there are also those other students. Like I have one little girl, like I'm in the middle of class, and they just doing what they want to do. The math ain't mathing literally, and it's just I'm over it. I'm standing there and I just close my eyes. And one little girl, she goes, "Breathe, Mr. McCoy, breathe."
That's just your student you can depend on.
Exactly. Then she goes to her next class, and then she comes back with this note, and it says, "Miss McCoy, I know that sometimes the students stress you out, but I want you to know that you're a great teacher. We really appreciate you." Also, the same one of my close friends who wrote me that letter saying, I'm happy that I'll be going to 6th grade or something, but I'll be sad that you're not going with me, but you'll always be in my memories or something, she said like that. Yeah. So then you have the kids like that, like, okay, I remember my purpose again because I was just about to lose my job. About to put somebody in here.
Exactly. Just want to grab them.
Right. Yeah. So it's nice to have those kids, and to answer your question, again, kind of like hoping that that's the child that I want to put out into the world too. Like, you have your good babies that love and care. Like, they could tell some days when I just have a bad day. I have another student every day. You be like, here's your hug of the day, just to, you know, get you through the day. Thank you for teaching us today. And I'm just like, you know, you're welcome. But the other kids.
Oh, that is so sweet.
So you have some sweet kids. And, you know, so I just have to remind myself I am an adult in this room, and I have to conduct myself as such. Right, and I'm still learning. And like you said, I don't have kids either.
And I think that's interesting because I don't recall any of my teachers being like mid-20s, 30s. Yeah. I think that's a difference. Like, when we like Miss Gladney, we knew Miss Gladney.
Yeah.
She was telling us, well, when I taught your mama, listen.
No, for real.
And that's another thing, too. What I've learned about in public schools right now, like, public schools have all of the older teachers, like people we said, I taught your mama.
Yeah.
Then in charter schools, they have more of the younger crowd because they're trying to develop them. But it's just hard. It's hard regardless. But with the charter schools, you see more of those students. And I'm not going to say like the private charter schools, but the public charter schools.
Yeah.
Those type of schools are where the most students that have egregious behaviors. And those kids are the ones that are being taught by the new adults. And I can say some of the new adults, new teachers, younger teachers, we're afraid of, you know, I guess, sabotaging the relationship with the child because it'll kind of carry over to with the parent. And then that's where you have those problems with the parents. So it goes back to like the teacher. Like, you have to be a teacher who wants to be there to actually teach those kids. Yeah. And then it'll kind of carry on to the parent, because again, parents are learning too, because they're the new adults. They're still babies having babies. Yeah. So that's another thing I've been like observing, because lately I just kind of sat back this school year and been like, let me see what's going on. Because when I first got in the school system, I'm not gonna lie, I was just in there like, look, we're going to get through today. We're going to make it through. We're going to get to our breaks. And we're going to try it again next year. But this year, I'm actually being more intentional. Yeah. And I'm looking and observing and I'm seeing. So it goes back to like things you said earlier. Like, is it the kids or is it at home? Yeah. It's at home and it's the students. We can't always put off on the parents, but it does starts at the house. Yeah. What is the foundation you're laying in your home? Yeah. That'll carry over to here. And even with the teachers, what was the foundation your parent laid for you that you're not carrying over to your classroom, to your students? And again, the charter schools have more of the younger crowd. The public schools have more of the older teachers. Like my school that I'm at, it's more older teachers that are actually still implementing those foundations that they learned at home and in the classroom, versus some schools are younger teachers and they're implementing like whatever they feel is needed at the moment to get through the day.
Gotcha.
But then you also have some, I think I just had a thought here. I lost it.
You too young for that. She too young for that.
I'll take y'all B12. We're gonna make sure.
It was something about teachers, because I know that now when I'm in these interviews, I'm asking what is the retention like with the teachers? What's the turnaround time like on that? Because you also have, like you said, those teachers are just there for the check, but the kids are so bad that teachers are done. Teachers are like, I can't do this no more. Yeah. I am stressed out, especially if you do have kids. By the time I get home, my poor babies, they getting the bare minimum because I am worn out. So a lot of teachers are, like you said, we had those teachers that were old. Baby, not no more.
They didn't bring that paddle back.
Yeah, they don't got none of the stuff that we had. And they claim that we were bad back then. It gets worse and worse. Because I feel like we turned out pretty great.
Yeah. But that's a good thing you just said. Like a good question people need to start asking when they go into job interviews, especially in the education system. What is your retention rate for teachers? Like, what does that turnaround look like? Because
And why they quit?
Yeah, why they leave? Why have so many available positions? Like all these openings coming up. Like what's the gag? Let me know.
Right.
Yeah. so that if I am hired for the position, I can know what I need to implement here so that we can better the school. And let's look at the student retention rate. The student retention rate matters too. Like we were just sending out these intent to return packets to parents. I've only gotten back 5 out of my 13 again.
I'm saying 5.
They're not coming back. Their kids' parents are not coming back because they feel like my kid isn't doing anything or learning anything because of what happened previously or what the admin may be doing. So it's a whole full circle of thing. You'll just come.
It's a lot.
That is a lot.
So with that being said, y'all,
because we
don't unpack
a lot. I think this is like adulthood education.
Right. So with that being said, I feel like I had to be done with, like I had to grow up myself in order to be able to be this super adult. like I had to show up for my nieces. I have to show up for my students. I have to show up in all these different aspects of my life. So it's like I had to learn. With being a new adult, there were certain things I wasn't going to be able to keep doing.
Right.
Like Destiny, you're hitting 30. You're done with that. You're done with all the stuff that, it was fun. You had a blast, but everything has a season. Everything can come with you to the new season. So I had to learn, like, even when it comes to professionalism, like, I had to just grow within that. Like, because, like, this is my career. Like I said a few episodes ago, last season, we're in a whole new season now. It'd be hard keeping up with that because this is way, we recorded this a long time ago according to them. But it's like, how am I growing as a professional? How am I growing as a person? Just Destiny within herself. Now I'm married. How I'm going to grow within that? How I'm going to be the best for my students, my family, my friend. Right. It's a lot. And once I realized that all those other things that come after that is not going to be fed into properly if I don't work on Destiny as a person, I had to be done with just being like, oh, what is it that is going to make Destiny be the best version of Destiny? So I'm becoming an adult, and every day it's going to come with some BS, or it may be a great day, I don't know.
Yes.
I'll be praying for it. But what is it that I'm doing to make sure with life changing constantly, what I have to change with it? How am I going to do that? What am I being done?
Yeah.
So I had to be done with the bare minimum, being complacent, let it go.
Yeah, I like that.
Thank you. Too.
Yeah, that's a good thing to be done with. I mean, I think she pretty much covered it.
Right.
I mean, I'm not in the education system, so I don't.
She will be done.
Just put me in a PE class. Run!
You make me mad. Run.
Because I don't have time for this. Y'all have to be on Squid Games. About to be throwing tomato. Move if you want to. I'm throwing a tomato. But
baby.
Right, they're gonna be tough though, and they're gonna have good reflexes. I think if I had to be done with anything based off what we talked about today, I think I'm gonna just have to be done with thinking that just because I've learned something a particular way, that's how it has to be done, and that I need to. And this is so hard for me. I want my kid to be a kid, but understanding what they walk into, right? I need to also come a little bit more forward in making sure that they're prepared for those things. And I don't always hit the mark, but every now and again, like Brielle may do something and I'll go like, where the hell that come from? And Bree is more so like cause he knows, he's just like, you don't do that. But sometimes I have to also go, let me put myself in a second grader's mind. So I'm always asking, well, why did you do that? Yeah, which our parents wouldn't have done because they would have been like, now you know, goddamn.
Like Mommy said, we didn't have that. Oh, dang.
Oh, we got bright. That we got because the conversation was getting hot over here. We okay though. Oh, you want me to?
I don't know how.
Okay.
We back.
Okay. How long that was like that, y'all? Because we was just
right.
We was.
I didn't even look at the camera the whole time.
We sorry.
Right, but I was gonna say, with you saying that, it's good that you're implementing that of being like, why? A lot of parents don't have those conversations with their kids as to it's just don't do that.
Yeah.
And like you said, their kids are being more open communicating their emotions with their parents. So you're opening that up for your kid, and she
they
ain't gonna have no
why.
kids because she is second grade. She ain't having no kids. She can have a boyfriend till she 80.
That
but
part.
the kids want to know why. So for you to explain sometimes the why is really good, because I think that puts them in a space of learning why I shouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
Or why I could do this again. Or why I need to take certain steps to do whatever it is that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So the why explanation sometimes, you can have that why conversation.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't have to always shut it down like, you don't do that, you don't do this.
Yeah.
Because it messes with kids emotionally. And I feel like with me having that emotional disturbed student in my class, like I've seen it. So I feel like the why conversation is very good.
So you're doing great.
You're doing great.
So I'm gonna do motherhood.
Listen, I be out here trying. Sometimes they get me.
No, but look.
Yeah, sometimes it is just sit down and shut up because I said so.
Right, and I be like, I can't do it, Lord. I don't want to be your strongest warrior.
Wait,
these kids that you blessed me with.
That one post when they say, "Go, I keep picking strong."
Yes.
What
I mean,
don't put me on the list.
I think that I'm done with just the old money turning up, not taking time to actually understand things, not taking time to sit back and reflect, not fully holding myself accountable, trying to be a half-asser type of person.
Yeah.
I think I'm done with that. I think I'm moving forward into being more intentional with the new adult or the new money, going into my 30s in December.
Hey. I love my December babies.
So I think I'm going into the actually being more intentional, being more like holding myself fully accountable.
Yeah.
Like knowing what's right and what's wrong, and being able to be apologetic and have uncomfortable conversations with friends, family, students, teachers, colleagues, whoever, and just knowing how to reflect and how to implement. And with the new adult that I've been learning how to go into conversation with action steps. Don't just come in with, you did this, you did that, or complaining, la la la. What changes am I going to make? Like, what are the next steps moving forward? So I'm done with just being okay and being super passive aggressive with a lot of stuff, because that's how I was. That's how I've always been. Because everybody, if you from Galveston County and you know me, you know that I'm just more of a light. I don't like to get into it with people, but if I do, I do. But I don't like to do those
and you
type
know
of things.
why.
Yes.
She said, I don't like to do it, but it will.
Right. So back to what we were saying. I'm done with being the old complacent Armani. I want to be a better person, a better woman of God, a better educator while I'm in the education system right now. I want to be just better overall. And I feel like that takes steps those are going to take time. Some steps I need to take. That's why I've been writing it down.
Right, she ain't done yet. But she working on it.
She working on it. And that's fine too. Yeah.
But going back to the classroom, like being done with that is just letting the kids settle. When I feel like I can't do it anymore, just take that little second and close my eyes, pray, and just be like, keep going. Because it has been times where I was just like, all right, they don't get it, they don't get it. And I hate that we have to be like that, because I know they taught y'all that too. Like, it's going to be the ratio of that one student that's just not going to get it. You have to keep going. Yeah. I hate that, because
now I'm tired.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, but other than that, I'm done being complacent.
That's good. Those are good
growing
things. Hey.
And evolving.
As these new adults out here in the hood.
But that was episode, I don't know. But that was the episode for this week of the You're Done podcast with my girl Monty. Be more nevertheless. So we're gonna be back. Like she said, we're gonna
have to come back and do this. Yeah. So because y'all had a lot. I mean, I feel like this would be a great topic to kind of elaborate on. I feel like you had a lot more you could have said. So we would love to have you back. I know y'all want to hear more about this.
Yes, I know y'all do.
So make sure you tune in for the next episode with Monty. But also next week, same time, same place. Peace.
Y'all are just so cute.
We gotta take a picture, Monty.
I wish I could do that with my sister.
So
you can. Get some money.
That crazy thing.
All you gonna do is just look at the mic and then just smile, so we can have a clip for YouTube. I mean, sorry, look at the camera.
It's okay.
All right, ready?
The ripple took me out.
Not the ripple.
For real.